What's really happening beneath us? In just 1 week, 5 major earthquakes struck across the globe. Japan, Indonesia, Turkey, the Philippines, and the United States. It feels like the Earth is restless. But what if these sudden eruptions aren't random at all? What if the ground beneath us is following a pattern, one that we're only beginning to understand? The solid ground we walk on isn't really solid. It's a collection of massive puzzle pieces called tectonic plates. They float on top of molten rock, slowly, constantly moving. Some plates drift apart, forming new crust in the middle of oceans. Others collide, creating mountains like the Himalayas. And when 2 plates slide past each other, and that is called a tension builds. Imagine 2 rough stones being pressed together. They don't slide easily 'cause they lock. But pressure keeps building, year after year, until one day, they slip. That sudden movement sends ripples of energy through the Earth's crust. And that's we called an earthquake. Most of the time, these shifts happen quietly beneath the ocean. But when they hit near cities or shallow ground, we feel them. And sometimes, the results are devastating, like fallen building, tsunamis, cracked highways, and most especially death. Lately, it seems like earthquakes are popping up everywhere. But here's what most people don't realize: earthquakes are always happening. Every single day, thousands of small quakes shake the planet. Most are too weak to notice by the humans. What's changed isn't the number, it's how we detect them. With sensors, satellites, and instant reporting, we now see what was once invisible. So when several big ones hit close together, it feels like the world is suddenly shaking more than usual. But in reality, we're just better at paying attention. Still, sometimes the Earth does go through active periods, especially around the Pacific Ring of Fire. This zone circles much of the Pacific Ocean, where 75% of the world's volcanoes and 90% of earthquakes occur. When one section releases stress, that energy can slightly shift pressure along connected faults. It's a chain reaction, not in minutes, but sometimes over weeks or months. Here's where things get interesting. Scientists have found that certain natural cycles might affect how often earthquakes happen. Some studies link slightly higher activity to solar cycles, the periods when the sun releases more solar flares and magnetic storms. These bursts of energy interact with Earth's magnetic field, and while they don't cause earthquakes, they might influence stress in the crust in tiny, indirect ways. Another theory looks at Earth's rotation speed. When the planet's spin slows by just a fraction of a second per day, it can slightly redistribute the planet's mass. Over time, that might add small extra stresses to fault zones. These connections are still debated, but they show how everything in our planet's system is linked, from the core beneath us to the space above us. Whenever a big quake hits, you'll hear it everywhere online. The Earth is awakening. The big one is coming. It's punishment. The God's wrath. Or, the end is near. It's human nature to search for meaning when the ground shakes. But the truth is simpler, and a lot less mystical. The Earth doesn't wake up. It doesn't sleep. It moves. Constantly. The same process that built our mountains and oceans is still running right now. And as for the idea that earthquakes are suddenly increasing, the data says no. The yearly average for strong quakes has stayed about the same for decades. What's really grown is our awareness, and sometimes, our anxiety. Here's what scientists are actually focused on: not predicting when an earthquake will strike, but how to prepare for it. 'Cause we can't truly predict the nature's turn of events. We can't pinpoint the exact minute a quake will happen, at least, but not yet. But we can measure stress along faults, detect tiny tremors before major slips, and improve how our cities are built. In Japan, for example, early warning systems can send alerts seconds before shaking hits, just enough time for trains to stop and people to take cover. And engineers are constantly designing buildings that flex instead of collapse. And that's how we turn raw fear into resilience. Earthquakes remind us that our planet isn't still, it's alive. From the slow drift of continents to the pulsing core miles below, this planet is in constant motion. Every tremor is part of a bigger rhythm, the same one that's been shaping the Earth for billions of years. And though we can't stop it, we can understand it. And that's what turns fear into knowledge, and knowledge into safety. The ground may shake, but that doesn't mean the world's falling apart. Every quake tells a story about pressure, balance, and time. So the next time you hear about another earthquake, don't panic. Remember, it's not the Earth waking up. It's just the planet doing what it's always done, and that's to move. Behind Onyx, uncover the unseen science shaping our world. Please subscribe and hit the bell button. Have a good one. See you in the next video.